If you like creeping and sneaking, it looks like you've come to the right place. GameRanx is here with the top 10 new stealth games of 2016. Let's get started off with number 10. Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia is the latest two-dimensional Assassin's Creed game. Well, sure, it's not the most stealthy game, and it is definitely not on par with other 2D stealth games like Mark of the Ninja, but it's still worth mentioning because it's damn good fun, and it's probably one of the better Chronicle games. You get to sneak and murder your way through the very unique setting of the Russian Empire of 1918, and you get to switch between two different assassin characters, focusing on a sniper rifle or close-range stealth attacks. One cool distraction trick involves calling a telephone in another room, which a guard will go walk away to answer. Not only that, the game visually looks pretty damn awesome and definitely captures the tone of the time period. Like I said, while it's not one of the best stealth games, it's pretty unique and it's good fun. And at number 9 we have Party Hard, which upon first look is probably not a game that you would think was a stealth game, but it turns out you have to be very sneaky. Basically, the objective of the game is that your neighbors are having a big, loud, obnoxious party, and it's up to you to infiltrate the party and stop it at all costs. The name of the game here is really just blending in with the crowd, being unseen, and taking out your targets one by one. You can rig explosions and accidents to happen, use your knife to kill unsuspecting people, and hide in the crowd and even pretend to be a dancer or a partier when things get suspicious. While you do spend most of your time sneaking around, the game can get pretty chaotic and violent, and it's frankly pretty awesome. It released last year on PC, but 2016 sees the PS4 and Xbox One release, and it is definitely worth a try. At number 8 we have Styx, Shards of Darkness, the sequel to Styx, Master of Shadows, which was a pretty underrated independent stealth game. While it wasn't perfect, it definitely had its charm, and it certainly had some pretty damn good stealth gameplay. Styx Shards of Darkness comes back with a bigger budget, bigger ideas, and now it's running on Unreal Engine 4, which I gotta say that is a good upgrade because the last game didn't really look so hot. We don't have a date yet, but it is slated for 2016, and we have seen previews of it at E3, and it looks like the game is pretty far along. If you ever had dreams of being a sneaky little goblin man in a medieval fantasy setting, Styx is probably right up your alley. And at number 7 we have Rise of the Tomb Raider, which last year was an Xbox One exclusive, but now it's getting a release on PlayStation 4, and it is definitely worth playing because there is some good stealth gameplay to be had here. While it's mostly an adventuring, action-y type of game like Uncharted, the game does focus on a lot of stealth elements, and I gotta say they're pretty addictive and fun. You're gonna find yourself creeping through bushes, hiding in trees, choking out your opponents when no one's looking, and basically using the environment to your advantage to become a stealthy predator. And I don't know if you've played any of these before, but the new Tomb Raider games are freaking dope, and the stealth gameplay, while simple, is really fun. It's also pretty fast-paced and violent, and coupled with everything else the game has going on, like upgradable weapons, a cool story, and just general explosions and running and jumping and adventure stuff, lovers of stealth will still have a lot to enjoy with Rise of the Tomb Raider. And at number 6 we have Deadbolt, an indie PC stealth action game where you play as the Grim Reaper. This 2D game is very fast-paced and kind of action-packed, but still really fun. The name of the game here is for you to creep around, although you can choose different playstyles, similar to something like Deus Ex or Dishonored, where the game is built around different playstyles like going action-heavy or going stealth, but the stealth is really the way to play here, and where the game really focuses and shines. Especially because in this game you die in one shot. It's one of those types of Hotline Miami games where you're gonna find yourself quickly and repeatedly playing the same scenario over and over and over again because it's addictive and fun, and it's really, really violent because you're basically the Grim Reaper trying to stop an undead uprising, so you're really just creeping around, killing everyone, and there's blood everywhere. But I gotta say, I don't really think that's a bad thing, especially with the great art style this game has. And at number 5 we have Aragami, a 3-dimensional stealth action game where you play as a ninja who can create his own shadows. This translates over to gameplay very interestingly enough because you can, make your own hiding spots. Aside from it just being a very cool and interesting looking 3D stealth game with open environments, the darkness and shadow gameplay stuff seems interesting and innovative. You can teleport instantly from shadow to shadow, create new shadows like I said, create assassination weapons, and even make traps out of them. It just seems like a really interesting combination of classic gameplay and new innovations with how stealth works, and it kind of seems like it's a nod to a lot of things like Tenchu, Metal Gear, and then even stuff like Mark of the Ninja. The developers have also talked up how challenging this game is going to be, but I think it remains to be seen once it releases. Either way, I can't wait. And at number 4 we have Volume, a game that has released this year for PlayStation Vita and is releasing in an updated version for PlayStation VR. I don't know if you guys caught Volume, but it's awesome, especially if you're a fan of the stealth of the original Metal Gear Solid game, and of course the legendary VR mission modes. Volume is just a straight up semi-isometric top-down stealth game, and it's so good. From the tight gameplay that, like I said, is an homage to a lot of classic stealth games, to the really cool, odd, futuristic computer-style visuals, and a very interesting and well voice-acted story, Volume is basically the the full package, and it works so well on Vita for you Vita owners who are looking for something to play. Not only that, but they are working on an update for the PlayStation VR that it's its own standalone mode that seems like it's going to be pretty interesting. And at number 3, we have Deus Ex: Mankind Divided, one of the most anticipated follow-ups in a while for a game that lets you tackle objectives in a variety of different play styles. You can go in guns blazing, or you can play the stealth aspect, and honestly, the stealth aspect is the way to play, at least to me personally. Because you are Adam Jensen, who didn't ask for this and has a bunch of augmented abilities, you can see through walls, punch through walls, turn invisible, fast-paced dash from cover to cover, and hack any computer and security camera. Deus Ex is basically a stealth gamer's wet dream come to life. And at number 2, we have Hitman, a game which I have to admit I was very skeptical of its initial release and how episodes are going to be doled out episodically. But thankfully, once I got over that, I realized that there is a really awesome Hitman game here. The game is constantly being updated with different targets to take out and new maps, and every single mission and map and mode has been consistently awesome and entertaining and just so true to what makes Hitman, special. Hitman is a stealth game, but often in a different way. Hiding in plain sight is sometimes the best way to achieve your objective. While you can creep around, hide in sewer grates, and sneak around corners, you can also murder a chef, take his clothes, and sneak in. You can basically do whatever you want. It is completely sandbox stealth style, and it is just so good. I cannot stress enough how underrated this new Hitman truly is. And at number 1, we have Dishonored II. For us folks at gameranx, this is most of our most anticipated game of the year. And at the time of making this video, the game hasn't released yet, but we're really excited for it, and especially to play through it, focusing on the stealth abilities, especially now with a new environment and the option to play as 2 different characters. There's going to be similar abilities and some that are new takes on old tricks, and the developers at Arcane have spoken on record about how they want to emphasize more non-lethal options for players who like to get through levels as sneakily as possible. And I gotta say, hearing that is music to my ears because I love nothing more than playing through Dishonored like a completely unseen ghost who touches nothing. Dishonored 2 releases in November, and we're super pumped. So guys, those are the 10 stealth games of 2016 worth caring about. However, we know there are some more that didn't make the cut, so we want to know what stealth games in 2016 you're looking forward to playing the most, if you haven't been playing them already. Let us know anything you love about stealth games down in the comments. We'll be there, and you guys know the deal. If you learned about a new game or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton, and we really appreciate it. And subscribing if you're new is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.